Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Heart and Hustle, Visionary Healers, Movers, and Shakers. I am your host, Paulette Rees-Denis, here to bring you magic makers from around the globe, people who are creating change, who have small businesses, large businesses, hobbies, but they are creating the life of their dreams. And that, my friends, is what living is all about. So let us know how you like this episode. Please subscribe, and we'll see you there. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Heart and Hustle, Visionary Healers, Movers, and Shakers. And I am your transformational lifestyle coach, Paulette Rees-Denis, here with another episode of Heart and Hustle. As you know, I love to bring you people who are making change in the world, creating the life of their own dreams, as well as creating change for their clients, their people, their tribes, their creativity, in whatever genre they are bringing forth. And today I get to bring you Peg Iannone. Did I do it right?
You did. You did. That was great.
We just had a pronunciation lesson. It was great because it's an Italian name, Iannone, which is beautiful. So Peg, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here with our people. And so Peg and I are on very similar paths. We're both coaches for people in mid-career and midlife. And Peg, I'd love you to kind of introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Paulette.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
So my name is Peg Iannone. I am a life and wellness coach for women navigating midlife. My background is in educational psychology, and my most recent training and entree into coaching was through Duke Integrative Medicine and their health coaching program. And I found myself personally in midlife asking a lot of questions and feeling a lot of, I guess, I like to call it the great upheaval because of so much transition. I think it's like
That's
a
great.
backpedal, just kind of like pulling, at life. And there's so much, I think, transition logistically, physically, emotionally, with relationships, really every part of life. That I was really inspired to kind of use my own experience and my background and reach out and work with women who are just, finding themselves like really trying to navigate all the ups and downs of midlife and just trying to find their footing, trying to find fulfillment, trying to find contentment in all the change.
Absolutely. And I think that everyone goes through that.
Yes.
We all go through midlife at some point in our midlife where we're ready for change or ready for something different or ready to question what we've been doing and why, and what's next, right?
Right. Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
So what's some of your story? What's some of your background for that?
So, so are you specifically asking me like what's my story for what's next, or sort of like what's my story
what's your story to get to you where you are now?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's kind of an interesting story. So, well, it's one of many stories, but I think the big one was I was probably I think I was 47. And I've always been very health conscious. Like I've always been a very avid exerciser. I eat really well. I think I'm somebody who is really was very in tune with my own body. I think it was probably, I was about 47 years old, and I started to just like notice a lot of like anxiety creeping in, trouble sleeping, just feeling like more worry than usual. I found myself and this is in hindsight, kind of looking back at this time in my life, well, put it this way, I found myself on my front porch, my 3 kids standing there, leaving in an ambulance.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I thought I was having a heart attack, and came to find out later that it was a panic attack, something I'd never like given a name to or felt before. Excuse me.
Mhm.
Um, and what happened was, in hindsight, what really was happening was my husband was taking a new job overseas. He was going to Asia. My daughter had left. My eldest had left her schooling, a place where she had been in school from pre-K through 8th grade, and was now going into high school. We had some other, changes in our home, logistically situation. My father had just died,
Mm.
and it turns out I turned 47, the age that my mother was when she died. So
That's
there was
right.
all these sort of things boiling underneath the surface. And here I was, like, running 5 miles a day, eating super healthy, doing all the things to, quote unquote, take care of myself. But yet there was this like whole storm happening, like underneath,
Ooh,
wasn't
I
even
love
aware
that picture. The
that
storm.
I wasn't even aware. I really wasn't aware of, until later. And what happened was I was having these physical symptoms. I was getting these heart palpitations, and I was also getting these muscle. They called them. They look like little squiggles, like weren't like twitches in my muscles. And the more I sort of I went to see a neurologist. I went to see a whole bunch of doctors that were like, "You're fine," right? But I knew I wasn't fine because something was going on, right? But the more I sort of worried about it, the more it became a thing. So I remember
Mhm.
going back to a neurologist like 2 weeks later from my initial appointment, where he was like, "I don't really even notice anything," to him looking at my thighs that look like worms and being like, "Oh, okay, well, I'm still not worried, but let's get you to see somebody else," right? And, in the end, like, down the road, I could see that, I was really causing a lot of my own
Mhm.
internal strife, because I didn't know, um, I didn't know that my own thoughts, like my own worries, my own brain was really creating a lot of this angst for myself. And I really didn't have any tools to navigate through all of these, plates, like shifting underneath. And, I didn't really have any good coping tools, even though
Mhm.
I've really been, I've been through some pretty stressful things in my life. And I thought I thought I was a good, I thought I had good coping skills. But, when this kind of all happened, I remember later, like my doctor saying to me, like, "Wow, like, what do you think was going on in your life that made you so vulnerable to this?" And I kind of looked at her like, life, like, I don't, you know what I mean? Which is the thing. And then I sort of looked around at the women, like all around me, who were really looking for ways of coping, like, and
Mm.
struggling, right? Like finding, like all the, over drinking, overeating, over shopping, over, relationships kind of blowing up, and not having like the tools to,
Mhm.
navigate
Yep.
this really crazy time.
Yeah, things are so different than they used to be.
Yes. Well, yeah. And I think that, well, I don't know. That's funny you say that, because I think about like generations before us. Yeah, I think that they didn't worry as much about things, some things, right? But I also think that things were just under, like, people just, like, they dealt with things in unhealthy ways, and
Right,
there,
exactly. Yeah, I agree with you.
yeah,
They weren't talked
yeah,
about.
they weren't talked about. No. So that's
And
why I just want to be talking about these things, because I,
yes.
yes, and I think that women need support. And I think that it's not like, I feel like, I don't know if you've had this experience, Paulette, but I feel like it's like all or nothing. It's either like, I'm just gonna pretend nothing's going on, or I'm like going to therapy, right? Like there's got to be something in the middle, right? For like the everyday woman who
Mhm.
just needs some tools and some strategies and a
Yes.
way to get support.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, 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 yes. I mean,
Yeah.
and I think, we're so hungry now. And, I work with predominantly women too, so I speak about that, but we're so hungry for connection and support and
Mhm.
inspiration and um, community and tribe. And um, I'm not talking about family community, I'm talking about um, sisterhood.
Yes.
Or,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
uh, I mean,
Right.
think about the red tent and what women
Yes.
used to do when women used to gather together. And we've become so isolated, partially because of COVID,
Right.
right? And the way the world is these days.
Right.
And we're supposed to shut up and not talk about these things.
Right. Or when we do get together, we want to sort of support each other and sort of saying like, yeah, I know where you're coming from, right? Like, and then, it can just turn into like a big gripe fest, but,
But
you
who's
know,
got the tools?
but
Who's
who's got
got the
the tool,
tool?
right? Who's going to say like, it doesn't have to be like that, or here, try this or try that, um, which, can be tricky, right? With our friends too, because sometimes we do just want to, we need that space to just vent too. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really important because you can definitely talk to your best friend or your sister or your mother or somebody, but they don't necessarily have the tools. And there's people like us who have been trained
Mhm.
to support and have the tools, have the ideas and the inspirations. And it's so okay to ask for help.
Right.
It's so
Right.
important to ask for help
Right. Right.
because we are not fucking Wonder Women,
Right.
even though we want to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I know 100%. And yeah, and yeah, exactly. And we can't do it all, right? Like, and that's okay too. So,
Well, and that's another thing too, is just being able to not only ask for help, but to be able to um, ask for help for ourselves, but also delegate out.
yeah.
Whether you're, the at-home mom who needs someone to clean the house, or you're the woman in the office who needs someone to do the emails or whatever, to
Mhm.
delegate so that you can do the thing that you're here for.
Right.
And I
Yeah.
think that's the thing that we miss a lot. It's like, what am I here to do? I
Mhm.
can't do everything. I don't want to do everything. I might
Right.
be multi-passionate,
Right.
but someone else is here to do something else, and we need to ask for that help.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. And so tell me, so I always love to talk about self-care.
Mhm.
So you're healthy and you run and you eat good. And
Mhm.
what do you do for yourself every day?
So many things. Um,
Good.
do you mean like what do I do just to take care of myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do exercise every day. I do try to, eat well. I do, I make time for myself, right? So that's really important to me. Um, time to just like be alone, time to, you know, um, read a book, or, look at something on my phone, or spend some time, chatting with a friend, or, doing things that fill me up,
Mhm.
that maybe somebody else would look at and think is frivolous, like stop in a window, drive by a shop and see something and decide to go in, and just taking that time
Mhm.
to not always like be in a rush or be getting to the next thing, doing things just because I like to and want to.
Oh, that's
Sometimes
so
it's
good.
taking a nap,
So good. Did
right?
you, I'm sure you
I do
have,
that
but
a lot.
did you read The Artist's Way
No,
by Julia Cameron?
no, I'm writing that down.
So I have like all my clients read this book, all my
Oh,
students. That Artist Way, which has come out now 25 years ago, and she's written many, many books since then, Julia Cameron. But one of the things, so she does the morning pages,
hmm
which is a journaling ritual that I do every day that I also teach all my people to do. But one of the things she says, go out on an artist's date
Oh, cool.
by yourself.
Mhm.
So just what you were saying, you know, go window shopping or go shopping, or what excites you or what feeds you,
Mhm.
look at things, whether
Yeah.
it's art, whether it's going to a gallery and looking at art, or going to the woods and looking at the trees, or, going to the symphony or a rock concert, whatever
Yeah.
feeds you.
Yes.
But sometimes it's important to do by yourself.
I love being by myself.
Me too. Me too.
I love it. I have, and one of my favorite things ever to do is to go to a new city and have time alone just to wander around. Oh my gosh, that's
Fun.
my favorite thing ever.
Fun.
Yeah,
So you're
or
in
anywhere.
Philadelphia now, is that what you said?
I'm near Philadelphia. I'm in a little town right outside.
So I used to live right outside of New Hope.
Oh, okay. That's not too far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived in Doylestown.
Oh, yeah, totally. Doylestown's really, really nice town.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Oh.
Anyway, but so where have you gone?
Oh, for me, well, my husband travels a lot for work, so whenever I can tag along with him, that's like my favorite thing to do. Of San Francisco, Florence, Rome, Paris, like that's, pre-COVID, when I could get away. But even like, um, we were just in Florida recently and he was working, he had a conference call and I just went out on the bike and just went like riding the bike around and people watching,
Oh,
riding by the beach, looking at the, just, I mean, I just love to do stuff like
so
that.
fun. That's so
Yeah.
fun. And it's just
Yeah.
feeds your soul. Just feeds your
Totally.
soul.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And it's a shame when you hear about some women who are afraid to be alone or afraid to go out and do things by themselves or go out and eat by themselves. And I love it.
I
I love
love
it.
doing that too. I can sit at a bar and have something to drink and just be happy.
Watch people.
Totally. I
I
can
love
sit on a
people.
beach alone too for plenty of time. Like yeah, I have no issues with that. It's actually,
Beautiful.
I really like I love driving in the car by myself. It's my favorite time to think. I love running alone. I
Mm.
mean, I love being with people too, but yeah, I have,
So do you still run?
I do.
Right on. Me
Yep.
too.
Yep. Yep.
Love
I mean,
it. Love it. Except
not
here
as
it's so
fast as I
freaking
used to.
cold right now.
I know, but to be honest, I like the cold more than the heat. I really struggle with like the warmer temperature. I mean, I'm not complaining, but I like the warmth. But that's the only thing is like exercising in like humidity. It always takes me like a while to
Well,
acclimate.
that's right. Up here, there's a lot more humid. I'm in Ohio right now for you
Oh
guys
yeah,
out there
yeah.
watching.
You're in the desert. That's
And
probably
when I'm
perfect.
in the desert, there's no humidity.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
not very often, but it gets really, really hot. And you get used to getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and going out then, which
Well,
I
that's
love.
giving time, right? Yes, because otherwise it's too
Otherwise,
right.
it can get up to 110, 120 in the
Yes.
summer, summer. Yeah.
Right. I spent a little time in Arizona and it was like that. Yeah.
But I love it. But I mean, I just love to run. I love to be outside, and I need to
Yeah.
be outside like almost first thing in the morning, like after my journaling and meditating and coffee, then I go
Yeah.
outside.
No, me too. I can't think straight. Like I feel like there's something, like off until I've gotten
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
inside.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just something, there's a connection with the earth and the universe and source and the spiritual part of me and the body. I don't know. And I've been doing it for so many years now that if I don't do it, there's something wrong.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's like it's your body is, yeah, it needs it.
Cool, cool. And there was, I studied with Tony Robbins, and that's how I got my coaching certification.
Interesting.
And there's a thing that he teaches called the hour of power, which is an hour, and you can do it for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, but it has to do with getting outside and walking and getting into a rhythm,
Yep.
and into your breathing. And I mean, there's a whole practice, which I won't go into, but that's one of the things that really got me started, gosh, back 10 years ago or so.
Mhm.
And I just love it. That's cool. Okay, what's next for you?
Ooh, what's next for me? Well, you mean in terms of my business or
Yeah,
just my life
well,
or?
anything, whatever comes to you.
Yeah, so okay, so I am branching out a little bit more in my community, trying to meet more people, with COVID and everything's been so trying to do everything online, so, marketing and sort of
Mhm, mhm.
getting connecting with people, with other women. So that's been a big sort of push for me, and kind of exciting because at least in the Philadelphia area, like we don't have, well, Philadelphia city still has mask requirements, but the outside area doesn't.
Right.
So it's been, things have just been much more open. People have been more open to meeting and, having networking events and having coffee. So that's been great for me. Like I've really just really enjoyed that for, I would say, the last 4 to 6 weeks. I've just been trying to put myself out there and meet more people and, get more connected to my community, find other women who are in business, who are, doing sort of similar interesting things.
Yes, yes, yes,
Um,
yes.
I have a lot going on with my family. I have a daughter graduating from college. I have a son who's halfway through college, and I have another daughter who's getting ready to, go into senior year. So it's been, there again, it's normal, good stuff of this age and stage, but it's been, yeah, so it's a balancing act, right? So yeah, so that's what's going on. That's what's going on with me. We're heading into spring and summer, which is my absolute most favorite time of year here in the Northeast. We spend a lot of time at the beach and with
Mhm.
family, and that's just like so amazing and so important to us. So yeah.
Excellent. Yummy.
Yeah.
Yummy. And then you're gonna continue your coaching practice.
Yes. Yep. Continue my coaching
And are
practice.
you doing mostly one-on-ones?
I do. I do mostly one-on-one, and I think I'm gonna stay with that probably for another year or two. I have given some thought into, doing some group coaching. One thing that I am gonna start next year, I was just trying to get my daughter launched, and then I'm gonna focus on my high schooler because we've been looking at schools, doing that. But once that's sort of settled, I think I'm gonna focus on a retreat. I think that would be super
Oh,
fun.
yes.
Yeah, I think that would be really
Oh,
cool.
I
And
love leading retreats. Oh,
yeah, I've never done it before, so it's gonna be a maiden voyage, but I think it would be fun.
oh, good, good. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've done retreats for 25, 28. God, I better start adding on to that, like 30 years.
okay. So I'm gonna have to pick your brain when it's
Yeah, absolutely. I'm here for you, babe.
okay. I'll
So
be like,
good.
tell me all the things. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's so good. I just love bringing people together in that container
Mhm.
where it's safe and it's exploratory and it's educational and it's fun and I mean, all the things, all
Yeah,
the things.
yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Oh, good. Well, I can't wait to hear more
Nice.
about what you want to do. And I'm so glad to have you here, Peg, and everybody out in heart and hustle land, to see all these beautiful entrepreneurs and business women and magic makers and healers and creatives doing their thing and how their story has unfolded and how for Peg, how her story unfolded and how she's doing the work she's doing now, which is passionate and some of the things we've all had to overcome to step into our fuller self,
Yeah.
right? Into to doing the work that's really more meaningful for us and how we can create more change in the world. It's so good. So Peg, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so
Yeah.
fun.
And all you guys out there in my heart and hustle land, thank you again for joining us. And let us know, either Peg or myself, if you have any questions or comments or just want to know more about whatever either one of us do. We are here for you. And until we meet again, many blessings. Mwah.
Thank you, Paulette.